Are you growing tired of all this hoopla surrounding the big upcoming BRICS meeting, the biggest event of the year for precious metals investors? There's some potential very good news that could come out of these meetings. We're going to talk about that. But there's also a potential for bad news as well, and we cannot ignore that. One thing for sure, there is a ton of hoopla and buildup to this meeting, and quite possibly a lot of misinformation out there as well. I'll do my best in this video not to add to that misinformation. Let's talk about what we know, what we can expect, and what the ramifications are going to be for the silver price, for the gold price, and the platinum price. Let's dig into it right now. Hey everybody, I have a special guest just joined me, my daughter Evelyn. Evelyn, say hello.
Hi.
All right, she just got back from the store and wanted to show us all her new box of Cheez-Its. We're supposed to be talking about the BRICS meeting. Get upstairs, Evelyn. Leave me alone. You know I love you more than anything in the world. Now, guys, what's the bad news coming out of the BRICS meeting? The bad news is there's not going to be a GBC. Do you know what a GBC is? That's a gold-backed currency. That's my new acronym for it. Everybody was all hyped up about, oh, we're going to get news about a gold-backed currency out of the BRICS meeting, blah, blah, blah. Look, that idea has basically been poo-pooed for now. But that's where it starts to get interesting, because if we look at what we could hear and we look at the big picture of what's going on with the BRICS, we can become much more optimistic about the gold price, about the silver price, about the platinum price. What's the big number everybody just recently is talking about? 75%. As a matter of fact, you may have heard the number being quoted as high as 85%. That represents the amount of the world's population that either directly or indirectly is either joined BRICS or has expressed an interest in joining BRICS or is part of some organization that is joining BRICS. It's getting to be overwhelming. Over 3/4 of the world's population. And again, I've heard that number quoted as high as 85%. But what does that mean for the price of silver and gold, you may be asking? Well, guys, those countries are moving away from the US dollar. Let that sink in for a second. What does that mean for the value of the U.S. dollar? That doesn't mean real sunny skies for the value of our currency here in the United States. That means a depreciating, a deflating U.S. dollar in terms of value. And that means that the price of silver, the price of gold, even if we're just looking at it measured in paper money, is going to increase as we move into the coming months, quarters, and years. We know India, China, right? Their economies are doing much better overall than the United States. We know they've got like 8 times as many people when you combine India and China as the total population of the United States. And that's just the ick. Right? The I and the C. That's a good little factoid you can use at the country club on the weekends. Right? Just the ick in BRICS has 8 times as much population as the United States. But it's interesting for silver and gold investors to consider that those two countries have expanding economies, have rapidly expanding middle classes. Compare that to the United States and those middle class people. What do they love? They love silver. They love gold. I hope you enjoy your time here in the basement, because it's a big honor for me that you've decided to join me. You belong here. You're smarter than the average bear. Please come back. Please subscribe to the channel. And it really, really helps if you take just 1 second and press that thumbs up button. And it gets even a little more interesting when you consider, yeah, sure, we may not get this gold-backed currency here in a few weeks, but it's not a matter of if, it's really only a matter of when. That's the generally accepted consensus. These countries are going to move to a universal currency that will most likely be backed by gold. Sure, they've got a few things to work out, absolutely No doubt about that, but they'll work them out, and when they do back their currency with gold to one extent or another, we're going to see the true value potential of precious metals realized. If you're looking to buy gold, silver, or platinum, do yourself a favor and check out Pimbex, the online precious metals bullion dealer and sponsor of Ron's Basement. I was a happy customer before they offered to support the channel. You'll find they have the best prices, quality, and service. I think Pimbex is best, and you will too. And be sure to tell them that you're from Ron's Basement. It's also a little frightening when you take a look at the size of the militaries of these BRICS countries. The numbers are staggering, and they far outnumber, at least in troops size, what we have in the West. And all of this is happening on a global geopolitical backdrop, which is the most contentious of any we've seen in the last number of decades. We have major conflict in Europe. We have major conflict between the United States and China. We have a tech war going on between the U.S. and China, which is much more serious than most anyone realizes. And on top of that, we've even sent some of our senior aged diplomats, including Henry Kissinger, who I have a great deal of respect for, being able to travel all the way to China, and Janet Yellen, who have both gone there begging for them to help us. You see, this is something a lot of people don't realize. After the great financial crisis, you know who helped kind of bail out the United States? That's right, China. They bought a lot of our treasury bonds, and that allowed our government to kind of spin their way out of the great financial crisis. So when we look at the big picture of what's going on with the big BRICS meeting, remember, don't go expecting to hear about a GBC, a gold-backed currency. It may happen, but it will happen eventually. What we are likely to see is further demonstration of cooperation between a vast majority of the world's population and a vast growing majority of the world's economy. And along with that, a group of people that have a much different level of appreciation and respect for the precious metals. In the long run, the silver price, gold price, and platinum price, easy for me to say, are going to do quite well, okay? In the meantime, what some people, including myself, maybe you, have decided to do is protect ourselves, to be our own central banks, right? If you own some silver, if you own some gold, if you own some platinum, you're acting as your own central bank to protect your wealth in the event that things turn out not so rosy for the good old U.S. dollar. Hey, thanks for joining me today. You know you're always welcome here in the basement, and I'm going to look forward to seeing you again soon. Go watch a live stream.